All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in game number 2 as we are sitting in the winners semifinals. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Terran player, the Australian himself, leading up the series 1-0. Give it up for iaguz. And his opponent, spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Zerg player representing Exile 5. Give it up for KingkOng. All right. Well, here we are in game number 2. iaguz, one game away from that winners finals. I think a player that most people are anticipating is going to make it to the later stages of the tournament, at least to that grand finals. He's probably one of the biggest favorites of this entire tournament, but still does not make it any less cool. But he is going to be going for 3 racks Reaper. Oh god. I think every Zerg out there is groaning. Even if you're an iaguz fan, you're groaning a little bit and seeing this once again. But whoa, look at that surround over there. Almost getting the surround. KingkOng is ready and waiting for this kind of aggression. He doesn't quite have a massive number of Zerglings or anything. He, in fact, doesn't even have his queens out just yet. Now only popping them out. But is he going to realize how aggressive this is? Well, I guess with the Overlord moving in, yes, he does realize how aggressive this is. Reapers are starting to get some nice damage done. Remember, the idea behind the Reapers, I've said this so many times across the entire day's broadcast, and whatever, like 8 hours that I've been casting, but keeping the Reapers alive and having them spiral out of control is one of the most important parts about this build. He does go for the command center behind all this. You can afford to get that eventually up, but you want to have that Reaper count just slowly start to swell further and further and further up. I like the fact that we have a spine crawler going up for KingkOng, just because that is one really good way to say, like, it's really hard to engage into that spine crawler. A very strange positioning for it, as I guess he wants to make sure that, you know, additional Reapers can't easily join into the fray from this right-hand side. I'd love to see him maybe reposition it a little bit later after it finishes, but Zergling speed is finished up. He almost gets us around at a couple of these Reapers. Losing any of these Reapers is a really, really big deal, and iaguz's Reaper count down to just 3. Oh, this is so unfortunate for iaguz. He's going to continue to try and do some damage to the Zerglings, but oh god, he gets surrounded once again. Only a single Reaper escapes to tell the tale. And iaguz, did he do the damage he needed to? There's a lot of Zerglings out on the map. This in and of itself is a lot of damage done, but is it enough? Well, I mean, with more Reapers back at home, it's going to be very difficult for these Zerglings to actually break through this wall in. So I guess that's okay. And these 4 Reapers can continue to maybe try and be aggressive out on the map, especially if you can be very on point with your micro. You really abuse these cliffs. It can work. You can force out maybe some more Zerglings or maybe even a Roach or something. More than one Roach, probably. But it is going to be really, really difficult for iaguz to make it work. He's still got that natural expansion command center finished up. And the big problem that you'll notice is that, yeah, he has a 3rd CC coming up. This is going to be a bit of a greedy play that iaguz is going for right now. But it's the fact that his factory is so delayed that is going to be a problem. I mean, when we're approaching like the 5-minute mark, that is where it starts to get a little bit weird. Where it's like, oh, you're going to have your really, really late medevacs. Oh, your engineering bay is coming down now. This is he's going to have a decent number of these units and everything, but the factory is so late. Now, of course, I do want to note KingkOng, of course, delaying his own build, delaying his lair tech, delaying a lot of his own stuff to get out that number of Zerglings and get out the defenses he needed to deal with that. But he is actually going to embrace all of that delaying that happened to him. He's pumping out more and more Zerglings. He's got a Baneling nest finished up, and iaguz tries to poke on in and doesn't. Okay, he sees this creep spread. That's probably enough to realize that there is, in fact, a 3rd expansion, but I don't think he realizes how many Zerglings have been made. The rocks have already been knocked down, so these Zerglings are going to take a very sneaky path around. Oh no, the Zerglings might be revealing each other. Okay, he pulls back some of the Zerglings into the crevice over here. He wants this to be as much of a surprise as possible. He wants to bust on in with as many Banelings as possible and devastate iaguz's production and potentially just continue to swarm on in with more and more Zerglings. He's even got a couple of Zerglings over here. He's got to move those across the map. He wants this to be as strong of a push in as possible. These Reapers are going to be moving in. They may see some of these Zerglings that are moving across the map. I don't think that they're going to be so lucky. Even having a couple of the Reapers can be super helpful in throwing down those grenades. You mess up the Banelings and really delay them from moving on in. But iaguz realizes what he's up against now. The Banelings decimate the Marine count that are way too far out. The command center is almost definitely going to have to lift off, but does it even matter? The Banelings just bust on in, and there's still Banelings to spare. Now, Stim, I believe, is finished up, but it doesn't matter. KingkOng ain't got nothing on me.